dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Hey, good evening. I'm Jim Freeman. We're starting the newscast with some breaking news out of Virginia. In a joint news release, the Wise County Sheriff's Office and Commonwealth's Attorney's Office said around 4 this morning, Norton Rescue Squad received a call about an unresponsive person at an address on Petrie Street. When officers arrived, they found a 61-year-old woman unresponsive and took her to Norton Community Hospital, where she was pronounced dead. Upon investigation, it was discovered she had traumatic injuries. An interview was conducted with 60-year-old Danny Sturgill. Based on that interview and other evidence, he was arrested and charged with second-degree murder and aggravated malicious wounding. Sturgill was taken to Southwest Virginia Regional Jail. He's being held there without bond. The investigation is ongoing. Farmers markets across the region are serving free food to flood victims. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox details how the market stepped up to feed Eastern Kentuckians in need.
Farmers markets in Breathitt, Knott, Perry, and Letcher counties are with Lee Initiative and World Central Kitchen to serve free produce to Eastern Kentuckians.
People who have been impacted by the flood and in general sort of the long-term economic fallout from the flood have access to fresh local food, but also our farmers have an income.
The markets were lined up with people ready to grab fresh produce, a step Lee Initiative wanted to be a part of.
Whenever we saw the devastation that was happening in Eastern Kentucky, it was very important to us to support people that have been feeding folks in this community all along.
People like Brandy White, who was trapped in her home for 3 days without food or water.
It's been impressive to see how human beings can be, how beautiful they can be.
The life-threatening experience made nutrition even more valuable to Brandy.
I was always real grateful, but I definitely drink more water now.
And for the local markets, giving out healthy food is crucial.
I see the healthy market as a sign of a healthy community, and so the fact that we're able to be here to support our community and to support our farmers that's our purpose, that's our focus, that's why we exist.
Feeding a region in a battle against disaster. In Whitesburg, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
The local farmers markets will have free produce every Thursday and Saturday for the next 3 weeks. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has brought more than 1,000 volunteers into the region to assist with flood cleanup this weekend. On Friday and this morning, members of the church came from surrounding states such as Ohio, West Virginia, and Tennessee, as well as folks from central and eastern and western Kentucky to 2 command centers in the region in Perry and Floyd counties. Church officials say their volunteer group, Helping Hands, is all about loving God, loving people, and serving both.
His 2 great commandments are to love God and love our fellow men, and we're out trying to follow that great commission and do what we can to help those in need.
Officials say another group of volunteers of the same size will be in the region next weekend as well to help out in further cleanup efforts.
Well, rain chances continue into tonight and also into your Sunday. And we're also tracking the possibility of some strong storms on your Sunday. Here is a live look tonight over in Whitesburg and Letcher County. All is quiet at this location at the moment. High temperatures on Saturday below average in the lower 80s for most of us. A couple degrees below average, 82 for Somerset and London, 83 in Jackson, 82 also over in Pikeville. And temperatures tonight, they continue to stay warm, lower 70s for most of us, 72 in London and Hazard, 74 in Jackson, 66 the cool spot over in Clintwood. Up on Pinpoint Doppler, most of us are dry at this hour. A few sprinkles over portions of Rowan County, but check out back towards the north, some pretty heavy storms over portions of Ohio into West Virginia as well. That will stay to the north of us tonight, but we are looking at the possibility for a few showers overnight tonight, but more rain showers are possible on Sunday. And like I said, some of those could be a little bit strong. I have that full forecast coming up in just a little bit. Jim.
Thanks, Cameron. Moving to international news. With tensions mounting over the situation at a nuclear power plant, Ukrainian forces have continued to show their reach extends far beyond the front lines in Ukraine, deep into Russian-held territory. CBS's Charlie D'Agata has more.
Thick black plumes of smoke were seen rising above the Russian naval headquarters in Crimea today. Russian media released video purported to show air defense systems shooting down Ukrainian drones over the skies of Russian-held territory. Targeting the headquarters, the latest in a series of audacious Ukrainian attacks deep behind enemy lines. Whether the result of sabotage or long-range weapons, explosions have struck an ammunition depot, a critical railway line, and an electricity substation earlier this week. The campaign to target the Russian-occupied peninsula coincides with the battle being fought over the nuclear power plant in Zaporizhia. Ukrainian officials have run worst-case scenario drills, with emergency workers dressed in protective gear scrubbing down volunteers posing as radiation-exposed victims. The Ukrainian energy minister saying it's impossible to ensure the safety of the nuclear plant while the Russian occupying forces are there. Ukraine and Russia have agreed to allow inspectors from the nuclear watchdog IAEA to access the plants. Details are still being ironed out, but step one will be a stop to the fighting. Both sides blame each other for shelling Europe's largest nuclear power plant. Both sides must hold fire for inspectors to complete their mission to ensure its safety. More shelling has been reported near the nuclear power plant, while new explosions have also been heard in Crimea. Charlie D'Agata, CBS News, Kyiv, Ukraine.
The United States is providing more help to Ukraine. On Friday, the Defense Department announced plans to give $775 million worth of additional military assistance. The package includes more ammunition for high-mobility artillery rocket systems and mine-clearing equipment. Including this latest package, the Biden White House says has committed nearly $11 billion to Ukraine since the start of the Russian invasion. More than 650,000 tons of grain and food have come out of Ukraine and are on their way to world markets. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres is in Istanbul, where he met with Turkish officials and oversaw the World Food Program ship heading to Ukraine, which he says will be the largest cargo ship out of Ukraine since the war started. He says the ship's load weighs more than 50,000 tons. In Africa, 22 million people across Ethiopia, Kenya, and Somalia are struggling to find enough food to eat due to a historic drought. The World Food Program says 9 million people have slipped into severe food insecurity in the region since the start of the new year. The Horn of Africa is facing one of the worst droughts in recent decades, and it's expected to continue in the coming months. UN figures show more than 7 million people in Somalia are experiencing food insecurity. That's nearly half the country's population. WFP Director David Baisley called the situation catastrophic and says, quote, "We must get the resources needed to save lives," end quote. Coming up at 11, we share some stories from a Kentucky county fair where a group of kids got the chance to go head-to-head in some fun competitions.
And more showers and storms are possible on Sunday, and some of those could be strong to severe. I have that full forecast coming up.